and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us here on this great day in America. It's a great day in North Dakota as well, but in spite of the ice and the wind, but thank you for being here. Today we are launching a grassroots group effort dedicated to fighting for North Dakota's long-term economic prosperity, so future generations will have good jobs and a solid financial future in our state. We've created a new nonprofit organization, Invest in North Dakota, that will work to reduce spending and fix the outdated North Dakota oil tax. I'm asking North Dakotans to join us at Fix the Tax town hall meetings across our state over the next several months and let their voices be heard. If you've had enough about high taxes, allowing more and more spending each year, then join us. If you want a competitive tax system that allows our economy to grow, then join us. We must keep our economy strong and stable so we have good jobs and prosperity in North Dakota. If we don't speak now and take action, it won't happen. Most oil in North Dakota is taxed at 11.5%, the highest tax rate in the lower 48 states. For example, Texas and Oklahoma are taxed at around 7%. Montana taxes at 9.25%, and South Dakota has a 4% tax. Some states even give tax holidays to attract production from their neighbors. This high tax is a double whammy. North Dakota royalty owners get hit harder, and so do companies that do the work. That means companies have an incentive to produce oil in states where the tax is lower. And North Dakota can lose jobs and investment dollars, especially when the inevitable price drops occur in the cyclical economy of oil and gas. Right now, companies are drilling the first wells on all their leases. Once they get those leases in place and get them held by this first production, the drilling companies, most of whom do all the work in this state, they will also look at their work in other states and drill where they get the best return on their money. That means the drilling of more wells is likely to slow down in our state. We cannot be content with the present. We cannot be content with the present and be careless with our future. Our state has a $1 billion surplus, even after our state's expenditures have doubled in the last 10 years since I finished my second term as governor. This level of spending, which is on the back of oil development, has proved disastrous for budgets in almost every other state in the nation. It's very difficult to balance the needs of the present and investments in the future. For example, poor planning proved disastrous for the state of Washington, D.C. Recently, Boeing Aircraft, which was one of their largest employers and the biggest manufacturing presence in the state, over time fell out of favor with the state of Washington. And as that happened, they left the state. They moved to South Carolina, because of high taxes and a poor business climate. We cannot let that happen to our oil industry in the state of North Dakota. History shows that even in our own state, we have seen tax hikes and program cuts because of relying on oil revenue too much during high production periods. The boom and bust cycles of the 1950s and the 1970s in North Dakota crippled our budgets and our expenditures for years and years, and we must be careful now. History also shows that we must develop public policy that looks to the future. Public policy initiated today takes effect 10 to 15 years from now. One example is in 1995, the legislature dealt with the possibilities of horizontal drilling, and we put some incentives in place. Technology that was in its infancy in those days. I think the first horizontal well in North Dakota was drilled in 1994. That technology was new. It was young. But we provided incentives to get that technology developed in North Dakota. And today, it is that technology that has allowed and generated the recent growth in revenues in our state. Invest in North Dakota will travel the state in a bus called the Invest in North Dakota Express. We'll hold town hall meetings. We'll invite people to come and express their views to generate the public support for proper spending and revenue generation in the state of North Dakota. Our website is www.fixthetax.com. It has additional information on how North Dakotans can get involved, can donate to the cause, and ask the legislature to get spending under control and fix the tax.